What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a Boros tokens list that is featuring one of the sweet new cards from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. And without further ado, let's jump into the brew. It's one I'm calling the Explosive Uprising. And the reason for that will become apparent shortly. We start off the deck with a full playset of Lantern Flare, which is great in a deck where we're going really wide with lots of little 1/1 creature tokens. You can just pay 2 mana to have it deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life, which is really nice, based on the number of creatures you control. But you can also pay the cleave cost, so you add 1 red to the white, and then you pay X, and then you can just have it deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life just based on how much mana you pump into it. So really nice removal spell in a deck like this, where we're trying to go really wide, and the life gain, great added bonus. Then Sunset Revelry, incredible value for 2 mana package. If it ever if you ever get all 3, which is the dream, then it's just insane. 2 mana for 4 life, 2 1/1 white creature tokens, and you get to draw a card. But even if you just get 2 of those, it's still just phenomenal. So we've gone with a full playset of Sunset Revelry because we need a little bit of card draw, and the more token creatures we can create in this deck, the better. Then we've gone for a full playset of Rip Apart because Selesnya Enchantments is like the main deck in the format right now. There's it's like 1 in 3 matches, so we do need to get rid of those enchantments, but I like the versatility that it can go 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker instead. Then we've gotten for a full playset of Wedding Announcement. Obviously, we're needing to make these creature tokens in a tokens deck. If you're not playing this, what are you doing? It's that good. Every turn it pumps out a little 1/1 until the third, what are they calling them? Invitation counter gets put on it, at which point it'll flip into Wedding Festivity and it becomes an anthem effect and buffs your whole squad. Multiples of these on the battlefield can win you the game by itself with the number of little creature tokens that we'll be producing with this deck. So that's one of the win cons. Then we come to Welcoming Vampire, which is our card draw engine for the deck. Whenever 1 or more creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Unfortunately, this ability only triggers once each turn, but you can have multiple Welcoming Vampires, so we could potentially be drawing multiple cards each turn, because pretty much everything that we have in the deck is going to be making a creature with power 2 or less at some point during the turn. So this is going to be drawing us cards, and it's not the type of brew where we need loads of card draw, but just having some card draw. Sunset Revelry, if you attack twice, with more than 2 creatures, with Wedding Announcement, or the creatures entering the battlefield with Welcoming Vampire, those 3 cards are doing our card drawing for us, and it's been enough so far in testing, as well as being a decent flying threat once a few of these Wedding Festivities are on the board. It's not a terrible way to end some games as well. Then we've gone for 3 copies of Adeline because she's legendary, and this is just fantastic in the deck. I did need like a low to the ground and pound kind of a threat that scales up in a deck where we're going to be making loads of these token creatures. The little star side of Adeline's power can scale massively, and of course she poops out little creature tokens every turn as well when she attacks, or whenever a creature attacks that you control, which will also draw you a card thanks to the Welcoming Vampire, so on and so forth. Something I do need to mention before we continue: if you've got a few Wedding Announcements already flipped into Wedding Activity on board, then the little creature tokens that you'll be creating will be entering the battlefield as 2/2s or 3/3s in the case of the Samurai, and that will no longer be triggering your Welcoming Vampire. Just something to keep in mind if you think that, why is that not happening anymore? Because they may be 1/1s when they appear, but the moment they enter the battlefield, they will no longer be 1/1s. You won't get the card draw with Welcoming Vampire. But usually at a point in the game when you have multiple Wedding Festivities on board is is a time of the game when you're just about to win and you don't need too much card draw at that point. Next up, we've got 3 copies of the Wandering Emperor. Such a nice all-round, well-balanced, like, Planeswalker. I've seen it in, like, Azorius control decks. I've seen it in, like, Abzan mid-range. I've seen it in, you know, aggro piles. Here it's serving many functions. It's a great fight spell. You can flash it in and either exile target tap creature, or you make a 2/2 that can block something, or, you know, you already have a blocker, but it's too small to block with. You flash this in, give it +1/+1 and first strike. Now it can and block and trade maybe. So just a great fight spell, and then continues to sort of serve the primary purpose of the deck, which is to poop out token creatures. In this case, a 2/2 Samurai creature token with Vigilance, which is fantastic target for the +1/+1 counters that then you can start applying onto it the following turn. Next up, we've got a full playset of Stensia Uprising, which is kind of the second namesake of the deck, the Explosive Uprising. My whole thinking was like, you know, there's a rabble of humans rioting, and turn by turn they get more and more and more until suddenly it explodes. We'll get to Explosive Singularity in a second. So every end step you poop out a 1/1 red human creature token, and it's a nice little mini game slash win con in and of itself, this card. If you have like 2 Stensia Uprisings on board, it'll have a little tracker on the card in Arena, which will let you know how many permanents you have on board at any given time. And when you reach exactly 13 permanents, you can sacrifice Stensia Uprising and have it deal 7 damage to any target, which is pretty sweet. You know, we often have well more than 13 by the time we even play Stensia Uprising, because it counts lands and all the little creature tokens we've pooped out until the point at which we cast this. But then if you hit, you know, your opponent hits you with a sweeper, suddenly you're back down to like 10 maybe permanents. Then you can really keep track of that until exactly the right moment at which boom, it triggers, and you can, you know, potentially go 14 if you've got a couple of them on board to the opponent's face, and that could win you the game in and of itself. So far we've got Wedding Announcement, you know, as one sort of win con, Stensia Uprising, second one. We'll get to the third one in a moment, but before we get there, we have 3 copies of Burn Down the House, which is again serving multiple roles in the deck. You can either just use it as a sweeper, which sometimes is exactly what you need against those aggro decks if you haven't been able to get your plan going properly. Something cool to note is if you have a few Wedding Festivities flipped down already, the Adeline's toughness will be bigger than 5, which means you could sweep the board and your Adeline survives, which is quite nice. But most of the time I'm creating the 3/1/1 Red Devil creature tokens, which are pretty nice because when they die, they deal 1 damage to any target, which is also, you know, can be a win con in and of itself. But yeah, again, trying to create this massive amount of creature tokens, and finally we arrive at the reason for that in 3 copies of Explosive Singularity, which is 10 mana to cast, and you can deal 10 damage to any target. But you can reduce the casting cost of Explosive Singularity by tapping untapped creatures you control. So if you have 8 untapped creatures, you could potentially cast Explosive Singularity for as little as 2 red mana, which is kind of the whole point of the deck. We're trying to apply pressure with these little tokens, get the opponent down a little bit to around 10 or so, and then go face with Explosive Singularity. It's as simple as that. And it's actually surprisingly effective. I've been getting some nice wins with the deck, and I hope to show you in the gameplay footage tonight. But let's go to the mana base quickly. We've got 1 of each of the creature lands, 2 of each of the legendary lands, 4 of each basics, 4 of each duels, and 2 Fields of Ruins. Very nice and harmonious. That is the brew. We're trying to go as wide as possible and to reduce the casting cost of Explosive Singularity. And that's about it. We've got plenty of great cards that are going to kind of apply pressure between, you know, turn 1 and the point at which we can actually cast this thing. And yeah, let's jump into some games. Now, as usual, at this point in my videos is when I like to do a tiny bit of self-promotion. So if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, kindly consider doing so. The next milestone I've set is 1,000 subscribers, and I'm sure we will get there sooner rather than later. Of course, if you could also like the video, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon, I would be very, very happy. By the way, with regards to the giveaway, I'm just waiting a couple of days. I'm going to let the video up on the channel a bit longer to, you know, gather more people, more comments. For the moment, we're sitting on like 15 or 16 comments. I want to see if we can get a decent amount built up. Let's go with Adeline. Snow. Interesting. Yeah. Shouldn't have attacked. Huh. See, we've got 7. $16. Sure. Not a problem. I'm gonna flash in the Emperor. Oops.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Badoosh, and we're ready. That's game. Little did he know. Got him. Game 1 victory always is a good sign. And we got the main win con off in the first game. So, I mean, I could just hit stop record right now. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, as you can see, that's what we're trying to do. Got a little lucky. The opponent bricked a tiny bit there in the turn 4. But still, we faced down double Hallowed Haunting, one of the most popular decks in the format, and just totally wiped the board with them. On to the next one. That card is fun, man. 10 damage to face is no joke. Okay, so that was one Selesnya Enchantments deck out of the way. Hopefully that means we don't need to face it again tonight. Sure. I'll keep that. Interesting. Jund? Opponent? That's a realm meter. We need to quite happily just get rid of you. Please attack with Sarulf. Please. Yes.
The energy of
Zap.
battle, only guided like water. You're done.
Sarulf would have been a huge problem for our deck.
Remember your training.
Let's draw a card and gain 4 life. Please spend all your mana getting rid of my Planeswalker. Not a problem at all. Hmm?
We've got the edge in this fight.
I don't mind losing her. That's fantastic. I was not expecting him to block that way. We don't even have to lose the Emperor. This is looking fantastic.
Guards, to me.
Poor guy was bricking pretty hard, but feels good. Second game, nice little win looks like so far. I think it's pretty much GG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll get in for for 2. It's pretty bad. Our win is now postponed another turn.
Remember your training.
Although... Oh, so close. Deep thoughts. Okay. Wonder who he goes for. Sure. Still won't do it. And that's the game. Damn it, he didn't let us get it off. On to the next one. If we win this next one, I think I'll just leave it at 3 matches. Go for a bit of a shorter video. Because I think we've pretty much done everything that the deck needs to do. We even managed to sacrifice one of the Stensia Uprisings to go face for 7 at one point in the last game, and then in the game before that. And we managed to reduce the casting cost of the explosive... What's it called? Explosive something? Okay, we need one more land. Like, big time. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Okay. Okay. He doesn't know we have the backup Adeline. Oh no. Oh my word. I did not think I'd see the day. What a joke. Now the question is, what do? We have to try and catch this Asika unaware. Will he even attack with it? We need the top deck. Oh, wow. Very nice. Very, very nice.
I am the Emperor of Kamigo, and I will protect my people. Show them how we greet our enemies.
It's just a disgusting deck. He's just gonna keep doing this. Okay.
We must protect the people.
Can do a lantern flare. Wow, really nice brew. I haven't gotten a single copy of AO. I have 90-something% of the set, and I don't have a single copy of AO. I need burn down the house, please. No such luck.
May your blade strike true.
I'd love another creature token, thank you.
Our swords will cross again.
We need to get rid of this thing. I don't know how. I mean, I know how. Rip apart. Ugh! Boom. What a stupid little interaction. Rip apart. Mate, please, just please. I do have 4 of them in the deck. No. I have such luck. This is a terrible, terrible situation. Nah. Honestly, like, cannot believe this is happening to me. What a... Ah. Ah! There's still a way out of this. I need to burn down the house. And I need a rip apart. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Round of applause for the opponent. That was disgusting. Unbelievable. And like, we just got completely shafted by the deck. We had answers, we just didn't draw any of them. On to the next one. Ibn Wali Barad. Some kind of Islamic brother in the house. Always the removal you need. Pity was gonna get some card draw action there. Okay. Some other kind of weird combo deck for sure. We're ready to win. That won't do it. That won't do it. Babushka. Alright guys, I think that's gonna do it for tonight's video. We've done the thing. There isn't anything else left for me to show you. And I'm very happy with how the deck performs. There's this sort of inevitability to it. Just at the point at which the opponent usually is going to do their like crazy play that'll swing the game around. They play their thing, you're like, oh, next turn's going to be the one where I win. 10 damage to face. It feels fantastic, and I highly recommend you give it a try. So in this final segment of the video, where we have some of my final thoughts on the matter, I would say that the brew is freaking perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Maybe there's an argument that can be made for Fateful Absence instead of Lantern Flare, but I think it just fits the deck better, and the life gain is very nice. So that's the brew. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews, and until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.